Welcome to Lightboard Learning. Today we're going to talk about preparing for the 2021 CrossFit Open. So we're going to take the stance that the Open is 5 weeks out, which would be February 1st, and we're going to break it into two groups. So the first group is going to be the Open group, and the second group is going to be the quarterfinal group, and I'm going to explain that in a little bit more detail. So let's start with the Open group. The Open group is comprised of people who are going to do the Open, but they're probably not going to qualify for the quarterfinals, the second portion of the CrossFit season. So for this group, the next 5 weeks are your pre-competition phase where you need to get your system as ready as possible for 3 weeks of the Open. Now, we don't know if it's only going to be 3 events during that 3-week period. It could be more than 3 events. But regardless, we need to be ready for those 3 weeks in March. So for this group, the Open group, the next 5 weeks are what we're going to call a pre-competition phase. And what all that means is we're trying to simulate the competition to come to get your system, your brain, your body ready for that competition. So how that looks is twice a week, because assuming you're going to be doing a redo, which most people do, you're going to be doing some type of open workout to simulate the actual competition you're going to be doing. So that could look like Monday, you would do an open-based event, and you can, of course, choose whichever type of open event you want to do. Tuesday could be an easier training session coming off of that Monday tough open workout that you did. And then Wednesday could be a tough training session. Thursday, a rest day, and then Friday, you're doing another open style session, and then Saturday, a more moderate session similar to Tuesday, and then Sunday, rest. So that week split can be something that would be used for the next 5 weeks to prepare the Open group for the actual competition to come. And the more variety you can have in those 5 weeks with regard to the Open events on your Monday and your Friday would be great, because you're trying to build confidence and touch all these different movements and combinations that you would see in the Open. So that's group number 1. Group number 2, the quarterfinal group, this group is going to get through the Open really easily. They don't need to do any redos. It's just kind of something that they have to do. Their focus is going to be on the quarterfinals, the next step in the season. So for this group, you're not preparing or peaking for the Open. You're trying to peak for the quarterfinals. So we have 5 weeks until the Open starts. And once the Open starts, you have 5 weeks until the quarterfinals start. The quarterfinals start 2 weeks after the Open ends. And the Open's 3 weeks long, so that's 5 weeks. So we have 10 weeks until the quarterfinals. So the next 5 weeks are what we would classify as an intensive phase where we're getting all of the characteristics ready that we need to start a pre-competition phase, which would be the 5 weeks leading into the quarterfinals. So these 5 weeks right now, we're trying to heighten the CNS, so we're touching heavier percentages of your max. We're making sure we're getting close to functional volume, which you can go elsewhere to learn more about functional volume. And we're ensuring that you're getting enough intensive touches with training and pieces that replicate what the Open or a quarterfinal event would look like to get your system ready to handle more intensive work that's going to be coming in the weeks leading up to the quarterfinal. So those ideas are the pieces that you're trying to prepare for once we get to the pre-competition phase for this quarterfinal group. So 5 weeks, more intensive training. Once the Open starts, now this group is beginning their pre-competition phase. And you're going to be utilizing the Open event within this build so that, of course, you get it out of the way, but it's also getting you prepared for the competition to come. So the big difference, besides the fact that one group's stopping here and one's moving on, is the type of competition that the groups will be doing. So the Open group, you're going to get a workout on Thursday, and then you have till Monday to do it, and you're going to do it for 3 weeks. Whereas the quarterfinal group, you're going to be getting a fixed amount of events on probably Thursday. This isn't clearly explained yet, so we're making the assumption that it's going to come out on a Thursday, and you're going to get 4 to 6 events, and then you have till Monday to complete all of those events, similar to what the Age Group Master Online Qualifier has to do, and you can do it any order you want. So that's completely different than the Open, which means you have to practice what that looks like leading up into it so that your system is prepared to do 2 tough workouts on Friday, 2 on Saturday, 1 on Sunday, and then a redo or 2 on Monday. So once our 5-week intensive phase is done and the Open starts, now we're going to be starting our simulations to prepare for the quarterfinals. So each week, you're going to be doing a simulation that's going to build on each other. So the first week will be, let's say, a 6 out of 10. The second week will be an 8 out of 10. And the last week of the Open will be your toughest simulation, which will be a 9, a 10 out of 10. And then the 4th week will be a taper week where total volume comes down a percentage amount. Intensity is still up because we don't want to be detraining too much. And then the 5th week would be the competition. So you're going to be doing the Open on, let's say, a Friday, and then you're going to rest 30 minutes, and then you're going to do another event. These are for the simulations. And then Saturday you're going to go in, and you're going to do 2 to 3 events with as much rest in between as you need, and then maybe Sunday you rest, and then Monday you're doing a couple more events. So you're practicing what it feels like to do multiple events, rest. You're practicing the amount of time between events you need. You're practicing the amount of food you need. This is all, practice is the key word for this group. All the training is done. Now we're trying to practice the act of competition so that when we actually get to the competition, you're going to feel more prepared and ready for whatever is going to come your way. So to recap that, if you're in group 1, the next 5 weeks are your pre-competition phase, where twice a week you want to be doing a tougher open style type workout, maybe a previous open workout if you wanted to, and then you're going to do your open and recover, reflect, and then create a plan moving forward. If you're in the second group, the next 5 weeks are more of an intensive phase, getting you ready for 5 weeks of a pre-competition phase in preparation for the quarterfinals. So these 5 weeks, we're building functional volume, we're ensuring the CNS is near its peak, and we're ensuring you're able to recover from intensive bouts on a weekly basis. We want to be seeing signs of you reaching towards your peak for this particular build. Then, once the Open starts, you're starting your 5-week simulation / pre-competition phase, where each week you're going to be doing a simulation over the weekend that's going to progressively get more challenging for 3 weeks to prepare for the quarterfinals. And then the 4th week, you dial it back down, and then the 5th week, you compete and see what you got. Good luck with your preparations, and we'll see you on the leaderboard.